hidden power, secrets, cover-ups, corruption. You think you know the whole story? Think again. I've been governor, a Navy SEAL, a fighter. I've heard things that'll blow your mind. And now I think it's time you get the whole story.
Now, the top secret government project that can destroy the world.
One of the most dangerous projects the United States government has ever attempted.
There it is.
When aimed at the sky, it can change the weather.
With 1 billion watts, you could easily move a cloud wherever you wanted to move it using HARP.
When aimed at the ground, it can set off earthquakes and tsunamis.
My father's hope was that this type of technology would be doing more good and not doing any harm. And they're saying now we have a weapon.
When it's pointed at you, it can literally blow your mind.
This is the death ray.
Jesse Ventura and his team head north to Alaska. Take a wild ride through the Arctic tundra.
We're out here in the wilderlands of Alaska.
And confront the ultimate conspiracy weapon.
This is more than classified.
HARP, the real-life doomsday machine.
Hold on a second, guys. I got a problem here. Got the car up interference.
I'm Jesse Ventura, and this is Conspiracy Theory.
Jesse Ventura is at the gates to what could be the most dangerous weapon the world has ever seen. And they won't let him in.
So you're telling me if I got rid of the cameras, you'd take me inside?
I'm saying there's no chance that would happen.
Weeks of investigation have led the governor and his team to remote Alaska, to this place where the U.S. military is blasting the skies with millions of watts of energy. A place with the innocent name of HARP.
Back up a little bit from the gate.
When I get denied something, I get angry. It was a confrontation I didn't expect as a former governor. And it all began when I got a call from a guy named Jerry Smith. He told me the government was about to fire up some kind of futuristic weapon. We met at an out-of-the-way tavern in St. Paul. He looked like an insurance agent, but there was nothing mild-mannered about what he had to say.
Jerry Smith is an author. He writes about the military's desire to harness the weather and use it as a weapon of mass destruction.
What I have for you is one of the most dangerous projects the United States government has ever attempted that's going on live in our atmosphere, and the general public are still blissfully unaware of it.
HARP, High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program.
It is a field of antennas on the ground in southeastern Alaska soldering together as to work as one giant antenna. It's 360 antennas. Each can generate 10,000 watts, 3.6 million watts collectively. The largest legal AM radio station in the U.S. is only 50,000 watts. But they're not broadcasting out. They're broadcasting up.
When HARP is fired up, all those antennas shoot powerful radio waves into the ionosphere, the uppermost part of the atmosphere. They literally heat it. They create irregularities that allow the ionosphere to bounce powerful radio signals back to Earth. Officially, it's only in the research stage. Officially.
To what purpose do they say they're doing that for?
So they can communicate with deeply submerged submarines. And they could use this to locate, monitor enemy underground bases for the manufacture and launch of weapons of mass destruction.
Big oil companies developed the HARP technology. But when the U.S. government realized its wider potential, it bought up all the plans. By the time work began in 1993, HARP was in the hands of the military. Jerry Smith says those hands turned the tool into a weapon.
The HARP array seems to be based on a set of patents for a ground-based Star Wars weapon system. Now, it may be good to have Ronald Reagan's
that could
shield.
destroy incoming missiles and things of that nature if they're fired at us.
Exactly. This same set of patents also describes how it could be used to manipulate the weather over North America.
Missile defense and weather control. Jerry Smith says that's only the tip of the iceberg in Alaska, because the extra low-frequency waves that HARP generates can also drill much deeper than the ocean. Deep into your brain.
That ELF that allows them to see deep in the Earth and communicate with deeply submerged submarines is at the same frequency that the human brain works at. Brain waves really are, in part, radio waves. The brain can be influenced by external signals.
Mind control? That seems a little far out. But weather manipulation is all too plausible. Jesse drives off to begin the investigation. And he can't shake off thoughts of recent events like the Indonesian tsunami and Hurricane Katrina. Back at his war room, the governor meets with his elite team of investigators, researchers, and operatives, all of them itching to get on the case.
All right, people, I want no excuses. What have you come up with?
Well, we've got a physicist that says that HARP can do everything that Jerry Smith told you it can do.
And how exactly is he going to do that? Start a hurricane?
Yeah, quite literally. He has a device that shows that you can actually move clouds, and he's going to do this experiment for me.
That's interesting. Where do we go from here, people?
This photo was actually taken just before the big tsunami hit the coast of Indonesia. And what we're seeing is the aurora borealis, or the northern lights. They occur anytime there's any sort of electromagnetic occurrence in the ionosphere. And they say that when they turn HARP on, the colors get really wild up there.
And the other thing that's interesting before the tsunami was that there were no pre-tremors or any warning. It just happened.
How often are the northern lights spotted in Indonesia?
Why would we
Not
want
northern.
to cause a tsunami and kill thousands of Indonesian people?
Yeah.
Alex, maybe they didn't want to. Maybe they were just experimenting with the thing. They put it up too high, and this was the end results. What do you think they're going to do after it happens? Then come out and say, oops, we made a mistake, and fess up to it?
I mean, think about it. They're testing a whole new technology, right? So here they're testing
they
this
come up with something new, they got to check it out, and if there's collateral damage from it, that's what they look at. Oh, well, it works, so there was a little collateral damage in it. At least now we know it works.
Coming up, the investigation moves to Alaska. And the conspiracy theory is put to the test.
Why is there so much military investment?
Well, as basically, I think the military was involved because there was a. Let me back up.
Then, a simple demonstration shows how HARP can control and change the weather.
We're using about 100 watts in this little cloud chamber. HARP uses 1 billion watts.
And later, a tense confrontation. Jesse Ventura at the gates to what could be the deadliest weapon in the world.
Come on, man, I'm a Navy SEAL. The military don't do things unless it has a military purpose, and a military purpose is destruction and waging war.
أن خروج الدجال هو أول العلامات أو الآيات العظام المؤذنة بتغير أحوال العالم على وجه الأرض.
Jesse Ventura has been tipped that the U.S. military's ionosphere research project in Alaska is not what it seems. Officially, the giant complex of antennas outside the village of Gakona is conducting communication studies. But a growing conspiracy theory says HARP is actually a weapon with the ability to shoot down aircraft, manipulate nature, and control your mind. The investigation is underway. Alex Piper has touched down in Fairbanks, Alaska. He's here to meet with one of the heads of HARP research. Meanwhile, the governor's advisor, Michael Braverman, is at Stanford University with 2 HARP researchers, Doctors Morris Cohen and Mark Galkowski, have done extensive experimentation at HARP.
The HARP facility is a unique facility for basic research. It's really about understanding a portion of the atmosphere that right now we know very little about.
We really hope to understand more about this upper atmospheric region and understand some of the basic, just physical processes that go on there.
Alex is not finding the same cooperation in Fairbanks.
Hey, Governor, it's Alex. Yeah, so I spoke to the professor. He claims it's strictly there for experiments, research purposes only, that it can't change the weather, it's not a weapon. Problem is, as soon as he saw where I was going with my questions, he refused to be on camera. Yeah, make of it what you will.
As Alex awaits instructions in Alaska, a visitor arrives at the team's office. Brooks Agnew is a scientist, engineer, and doctor of physics. He spent years studying Arctic weather patterns. He's about to demonstrate the awesome power of this so-called research project. He'll show how HARP's ELF radio waves can actually push around rain clouds in the sky, and in the process, change the weather.
Well, this is a basic cloud chamber. I'm going to make a cloud inside of it, stabilize it, make sure it's all nice and still, and then we're going to move it using HARP impulses.
The HARP researchers may not be as candid as they appear. They deny HARP can control the weather. But Dr. Agnew shows investigator June Sarpong just how easy the process can be.
When I turn the pulses on, this cloud should move from bottom to top.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can really see it.
It's almost like there's a wind inside the chamber.
So if this was the sky, you would see rapid movement into the sky.
Right. And this is just a fraction of the power that's used in HARP. We're using about 100 watts in this little cloud chamber. HARP uses 1 billion watts. So we pushed a couple of cubic feet of cloud vapor in a few seconds. With 1 billion watts, you could easily move a cloud wherever you wanted to move it using HARP.
Could HARP be used as an electronic weapon?
Certainly not.
Is there an example where HARP has actually been used in warfare?
Yes. In the first Iraq War, there's evidence that HARP was used to irradiate the battlefield prior to the invasion from Kuwait. When the tanks rolled into the area, the troops piled out of the bunkers, not willing to give a fight. They gave up in mass. These were the Iraqi troops.
And what exactly did HARP do to them?
It can prevent you from sleeping. It creates anxiety. It can even upset your bowels, how they work. And if it's played just right, HARP can be tuned to a point where it makes the recipients so paranoid they begin to have visions like nightmares.
So what are the real dangers of HARP?
Picture a ground wire, like a long extension cord being stretched from the Earth up to the ionosphere, creating an ion path. If the power that's in the ionosphere discharged back down to the ground, it would be a lightning bolt of devastating proportions.
What would that mean exactly?
Picture 50 Mount St. Helens volcanoes going off every second for a minute.
So the effects could be catastrophic.
Absolutely.
So in your expert opinion, do you think that this is a machine that actually should be stopped because it's just too dangerous?
I think the machine should be shut off. It's too risky to use.